But when you have a lot of poverty, when you have resource stress, when you have an influx of new immigrants. Now, I'm going to be quite careful in saying this because it's not so much that they were new immigrants, but they were new immigrants with a certain background from war and rebellion, and that was a real problem. I think once you have that inclusion in there,
absolutely,
and then you have basically a government that really didn't really give a
So you know what I think it's actually many factors altogether. Poverty alone doesn't drive people to do bad things. Especially not a large group of people. Anger alone doesn't drive people to do bad things either. Neither is it, government. Neither is it a lack of resources. But when you have all these things bundled together, and you have two, they're not races. What do you call them again?
Tribes,
two factions, two tribes that feel that they don't know the other party. When you don't know someone, you tend to imagine the worst things.
Exactly.
You may say, no, these guys are like this, and that's the genesis of racial attacks and all that, because you don't know, you imagine,
and it's not easier to draw a line between us and them.
Correct.
Based on race, based on religion, based on different dialect group. As human beings, we're really very good at separating ourselves from other people.
Absolutely.
And saying this is people like me and these are people not like me.
We are creatures of tribe, and there's a book written about this. So I think it cannot be underestimated, the importance of conversation. And you don't have that. You see, as we have learned from this particular riot, it took all of an argument, a street argument, to ignite an entire population.
And then 500 people dead and God knows how much property damage, right? Unfortunately, the only thing that really will stick in my mind in our discussion here is the image of Governor Butterworth riding his white horse into the crowd saying, "What's going on here?" and then being roundly pelted by a bunch of, Hawkins and Teochews who probably who probably stopped halfway, beating the bejesus out of each other and just start throwing stones at him.
Getting his butter's worth of...
Getting his butter's worth.
Singapore is by and large very peaceful today. And in fact, a few weeks ago, I was just introducing my two little children. I've got two boys. They're 6 years old.
So there's more than enough rioting happening at home right now.
Oh yes. I have these riots happening every single day. Yeah, usually starts with a disagreement.
Well, no, it like I said, it starts with a simple,
Yes.
You took
Why
my
does
thing.
he have that green toy, but not me, Anyway, so I was introducing my primary school children to the concept of actually riots and conflict.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, you turn on YouTube. There's abundance. It is filled with modern day samples of all this. And the scenes are very exciting on television. We had a look at the Hong Kong riots. We there's plenty of that in everywhere in the world. And then they were excited. They were like, "Wow, can I go there and join them?" I was like, "No, you do not want to be there. Yeah, you do not want to be there. You don't want to be caught in the middle of a conflict. You could be stampeded to death. Stampeded, yeah, is that English? People could turn violent. They could attack you. So we don't want that there. And neither, and then I asked them, do you see this in Singapore? Have we had, did we ever say don't go out because there's a chance of a riot?
Yeah.
So I told them that we should not take this for granted here.
Well, I'll tell you this story. I guess it was told to me in confidence, so I shouldn't probably make too many details public, but I had a friend in a neighboring country. They had a pretty contested election. This was a couple of years ago. His wife was attending some event and he drove out and he brought her home and he said, "You're not going out tonight. There might be trouble tonight." Can you imagine that? You talked about we've been social studied to death with regards to racial rights and stuff like that. But sometimes we, as cliched as it sounds, right, we really take for granted sometimes like how things just work here. And you don't get this immediate, desperate, dangerous sense of your life might be in danger if you go to a certain place right now, or if you just go out,
Absolutely.
When was the last time we had a curfew in Singapore, for that matter?
I had a curfew on my boys.
Well,
Anyway, but really, I think there's a lot of work that has
Yeah.
gone into keeping this peace, and we may not like it. Some people look at our housing policies.
Yeah.
And say, oh, wow, so niao.
Yeah.
Only must have like that,
Yeah.
a racial proportion. Oh wow, you guys cannot gather. What was it? 3 people or 7 people in public, or your poor thing. No expression of freedom, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think these laws to, and we've also got a lot of laws to control the formation of societies. You can't have wildcat strikes. You can't form your own trade union out of
You
the
can't have
blue.
processions.
You can't have processions. So countries will look at us and say, "You poor things, you've got no freedom of expression."
Yeah.
But I think it's a
Well,
trade-off.
right.
When humankind organizes ourselves as tribes, I think we're capable of tremendous destruction.